Okay, everybody, welcome back. I am going to make crab mac and cheese today for my son. These are the ingredients. We have a pound of crab meat, penny regatta, whole milk, Campbell's Campbell's cheddar cheese, soup, Old Bay seasoning, black pepper, half a stick of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, pepper jack cheese. You can actually use Monterey Jack if you don't want to use pepper jack. I have extra sharp cheese, and I should have picked up some mild cheddar cheese. Instead, I'm going to use a whole milk mozzarella cheese. So let's get started. All right, guys. Well, let's get the sauce started. We're going to start with our 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm just going to drop that in. And our can of our can of cheddar cheese soup. And I'm scraping this to get as much out of here as possible. You guys probably know that, all these kind of soups stick to the sides of the can. Okay. And I'm going to also add a half a stick of butter and one cup of milk. Now, the recipe starts with 1 cup of milk. The last few times I have had to add additional milk to it, or in some cases I've done heavy cream, depending upon what I had easily at hand. Last time I used heavy cream because I only had a little bit left, and it's kind of like a decadent thing that we're doing. So I'm going to take this and put it on the stove, turn it on low so that everything can start melting together, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, here we are. The water for the noodles are boiling. So I'm going to salt this heavily so that our noodles actually have something to taste like. Take a look over here. That's the sauce. It's on medium-low. I'm just trying to get it a little bit warmer. Then I'm going to turn it down to low and stir it constantly so that it will not scorch. Now, the recipe actually calls for an entire pound of noodles. I usually hold back a little. I find that the whole pound is too much. So I'm going to add probably, let's see, I'm going to keep back maybe a half a cup of dry noodles. About a half a cup of dry noodles. That's all that's left in the box, if you can see. The actual box recipe calls for rigatoni. My son does not like that. He thinks it is too big, so we're using penne rigati today. So stick around and I'll show you the next steps. All right, off camera, I added 2 teaspoons of Old Bay spice and about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And I am stirring until this is smooth. It's still real chunky now. You can see the chunks of cream cheese. So this will be a labor of love for the next few minutes. The penne rigati is getting ready to come off. It's almost done. So when that comes off, I'll drain that over in the sink. And I'll come back to you when this is smooth. All right, everybody, we're back. The noodles are done. The cheese sauce is done. You see it's fairly smooth. I did have to stir in an extra half a cup of milk. Like I said, it could be milk or it could be heavy cream, whichever you prefer. I use whole milk. I guess you can use 2%. I've never tried it, but I think that when you're making something this rich, you should just go all out. So let's get started with this. We're actually going to layer everything in here. We're going to start with the noodles. I'm going to put half of the noodles on the bottom. I'm using this pan here just as because it's easy cleanup. Okay. And what I do is I actually end up sprinkling a little bit of Old Bay on the noodles. Just to make sure that they're seasoned well. and also a little bit of pepper. Okay, this is my pound of crab meat. I took it out of the container it came in. Let me show you that container. I actually get mine from Costco, so I just, bought this today. And I actually picked through it a little bit just to get a couple, see if there were any additional shells in there. And there were a couple, so I did pull those out. And now I'm just going to put about half of the crab meat on top. And okay, we want it to be spread, as evenly as possible, because you actually want to get some crab in every bite. Last time I made this, I actually extended it with some shrimp, so that was good too. So that's also something that you could do. You could use shrimp, you could use scallops, you could use, anything else that you would want to make it not a crab mac and cheese, but a seafood mac and cheese. That's up to you, okay? So next we're gonna pour half of our cheese sauce on top. So you think about this, like what you're really doing is making it like a lasagna, I would say. Okay. And then, and this is my only way. This actually, the way that the recipe tells you, you're supposed to put all the cheese at the top, but sorry, I do put some in the middle. I'll put like maybe 1/3 of a cup of each in the middle. So that was the extra sharp cheese. This is the pepper jack cheese. That's gonna have a nice little spice to it. I can smell it. It smells delicious. And then I said 1/3. I'm actually putting about half of each bag in, and the mozzarella. Okay. Now we're gonna put our next layer of noodles. Okay, I'm just going to spread those out. Be like one even layer. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and, before I do that, let me add a little bit more Old Bay. And some black pepper. Okay, and now we're going to add the rest of the crab meat. I actually wish I would have put some shrimp in here because the crab meat, I just think it would have been better with more meat, but we'll see. It should still come out really good because the middle layer had a lot of crab meat in it. And then try to spread it out as much as possible. Excuse me. Thought I was going to sneeze. And let's see. There's some nice lump. If you hear that noise, that's my son upstairs. I don't know what he's doing. Probably playing video games. And then we're going to spread the last of the cheese sauce. All around. And now we're going to put the last of the cheese on. Again, it's the extra sharp cheddar cheese. I'm going to save just a little bit of that just to see if I need any more later on, because I really want to get this pepper jack because it has that nice spicy flavor, and we like a little spice in my house. So remember, you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. This is just what I'm using this time. I've used other cheeses in the past. Okay, and then we're gonna finish it off with some mozzarella. And what's going to happen is all of this cheese is going to melt down into all these nooks and crannies and make this a wonderful, wonderful dish. Okay, now you see I didn't use all of the mozzarella and I didn't use all of the extra sharp cheese because I really think that's plenty. The actual recipe actually tells you to put some breadcrumbs on top. I'm not going to do that. We're not a fan of breadcrumbs on our mac and cheese, so I'm just going to leave it like this. But what I am going to do, let me go to my cabinet. I'm going to grab some parsley. Where is my parsley? Aha, there it is. I'm just going to put just a little parsley on top of it just because my YouTube sister, Gina Young, says it makes everything pretty, and she is so right about that. The recipe also does not tell you to cover it in aluminum foil, but I do that. But what I do is I take the aluminum foil and I spray it like this, just so the cheese doesn't stick to it. And I'm going to wrap it loosely. And then I'm going to put it in the oven, 350. It's already preheated, and I'm going to put it in there for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, I'm going to check it. I'm going to take the tinfoil off and bake it for another 15. I'll see you then. Hi, everyone. I've taken the crab mac and cheese out. As you can see, it's wonderful. It's nice and brown with crispy edges. Just to remind you, I baked it at 350. The first 30 minutes it was covered. After 30 minutes, I removed the aluminum foil and baked it for another 15 minutes. And this is what we get. I'm gonna let it sit here for about 15 minutes so that it can all gel together, and then we will have dinner. All right, everybody, it's been about 15 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and dip into this. I'm gonna start from this side because I love the little crispy parts. So let's see how this looks. Okay, there is the crab mac and cheese. My son is standing on the steps waiting to come down and get his. Give me a second. I'm gonna put some parsley on mine again to make it pretty, and I'm gonna grab me a fork so that we can taste this together. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna move this to the side. Let's take a look at this. Not bad. Let's going for a quick taste. My mouth is watering. Let's see. Oh my gosh. That's delicious. I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know. And I'll see you next time.